Hi guys, Chatty at Peel Drone and RotoRev. Quick video, HGLRC all-in-one flight controller. Comes in two versions, 3 or version 2.1, difference being the XT60 and the current sensor. So if you don't care for that or you have a really tight build, then 2.1 is your choice, and it is around $6 Canadian less, I believe. So let's start with the version 3. So what you're getting is a real all-in-one. So it's an F3 flight controller, 8 MB of flash on board, an OSD which is based on MWosd or platform and software. You have the current sensor, which is claimed to handle up to 140 amps, and two dedicated Becs on the bottom, 5 volt and 12 volt. So let's get down to the wiring. So you have your ESC solder pads here to power your OSD ground, positive, and then we start going to the signal for the ESC. So they are actually laid out as per clean flight motor layout. So signal 1 or motor 1, 2, 3, and 4. Just making the wiring shorter and easier, not running through the whole build. Next thing would be your radio receiver. So you have a few options here. Is if you're running serial RX, which is Spectrum or Taranis or any other serial, you have two sources here. You got a 5 volt and you got a 3.3 for Spectrum and 5 for Taranis. You got the ground and your signal wire, which is serial port 3. And then you got 2 pads for buzzers and 1 pad for the LED. Haven't tested the LED yet. That's going to be next. And they even threw 2 pads as S5 and S6 in case you want to run a hex copper. So after that, you're gonna turn around to look at your OSD wiring. So for OSD wiring, they have the camera here. So that's your yellow input from the camera and or the video signal. And then for the VTX, the one that says VTX, that's your yellow. They actually put a 5 volt and a 12 volt taps. I wish they actually reversed that, but again, that's not a deal breaker. I power my VTX from the 12 volt and the common ground, which always could use common ground all around the board. I power my cameras through 5 volt again, which is from the VTX. I find that's the best way. It adds an extra layer of filtering and protection for the equipment. So it's really up to you if you want to use the 5 volt or if you have a 5 volt VTX too. Once you get all soldered, you don't really need to get access to the bottom of the board, which is a great thing because that gets to be really hard once ESCs are soldered and everything. On the bottom, again, those are the two dedicated Becs, 5 and 12, and the hardware for the OSD. You will see 4-pin, 5-pin, and 8-pin. So the 4-pin, that's your serial port 2, if you need to run anything extra. 5-pin, that's a common port between UART1 and OSD, where you can program the OSD. We'll show you that in a sec. And then you get the 8-pin. So they actually still added an 8-pin connector. So if you don't have serial receiver for radio, you still can use PWM full channels, or you can even use PPM, which is again a good move. Then that's your USB. So that's quickly what the board consists of. Tests, been testing for 2 weeks. All I could say, it's great. The 5 volt output actually comes up at around 5.5 volt. Argument is, and because this is feeding out the OSD, just to prevent any OSD brownouts on full throttle or heavy throttle, which actually apparently does work pretty well. I haven't had a single issue with that. So that being said, that's the board quickly. It comes with a set of the wires again for the 4, 5, and 8 pin. The XT60 if you prefer to actually solder directly here or to have wires coming out. The FTDI is sold separately, where you can use it with the 5-pin connector. Has a jumper for 5 and 3 volt. Keep it at the 5 volt. That's how you use it, unless you use it for another device that requires 3 volt. So that's it pretty much. If you have any questions, please let me know. And thanks for watching.